Good Friday morning. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Coach Ingrid Hughes, the CEO and founder of Team Life Changers, where we change lives every single day, starting with our own. First, I want to wish my love of my life, Don, the keeper of my heart, our very happy 22nd wedding anniversary. So now back to business. You guys know I come to you every Friday morning between 7 a.m. and 7:15 a.m. Eastern Time with a little segment that I like to call What I Learned This Week. And what I learned this week is it should or is it could? So when faced with a situation in your life, in your relationship, in your business, your health, your fitness journey, your weight loss journey, on your job, whatever, do you ask yourself, well, what should I do? Or do you say, what could I do? I see you looking at me like this girl's lost her mind, but hear me out, because there is an actual difference. A business partner of mine shared a story, a great example of this earlier this week. It was actually an excellent example because her favorite band had posted on social media that on the same night as their concert, their cover band had canceled at the very last minute, and that so they were in a bit of a bind. So what they thought about was, they didn't say, oh, what should we do? Instead, they were like, what could we do? So they asked themselves, what could we do? And that's when those creative juices began to stir. So they began posting on social media, especially Instagram, about how their friends, some old friends who have a band, had reached out to them. They're in town and they're going to be the opening act. And they had even linked their comments to this old band's page. The thing is, these old friends and this band didn't exist. True fans began to recognize, though, the name of this band was suspiciously close, if not exactly the same as the current band, the main act's original first album before they were famous. So a digital Easter egg hunt began as these guys were posting constantly on social media to stir up some excitement and fun for the fans, which made them all start to speculate, like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So the time came for the opening act to come out, and guess what happened? The main attraction came out in costume and performed the songs from their original Not So Famous album, and the fans loved it. Hey, thanks for joining me. The second example I saw this week was of a lady from Western Pennsylvania whose son was being bullied and friendless after they had just moved to this new school district. So the mom could have thrown her hands up in despair and be like, oh, what should I do? But instead she was like, what could I do? So that mom opened up a Facebook group and began sharing some creative ideas with other people in there. The next thing you know, a biker group got a hold of this information, and they arranged to show up at this young man's school. And at dismissal time, so everybody can see, they put on this really cool Batman helmet on him, slapped him on that bike, and they rode off. Young man has not been bullied since, and he now has some friends. So here's this week's call to action for you and me. Stop throwing your hands up in despair and saying, oh, what should I do? Instead, begin asking, what could I do when a situation that was unexpected arises that's not so nice for you? You are so full of creativity and you are so full of ideas, even if you don't recognize it. So what could you do? God loves you, and so do I. Have a blessed and happy day. Bye.